Wig, did you just say wig? Wig, okay. I know, wig. I feel that already. Wig, okay. Wig, did you just say wig? Wig, okay. I am ready for my wig to go flying.
Because we're recording.
Oh shit! Really? Why do I fall for that every time?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Literally, it's my only joke on this podcast. So
but
like,
it works against me every time.
it really does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love surprising you with
You do.
you know, the podcast.
Surprise!
Surprise. I'm Martyr.
I'm C Tepper,
And this is Wigging Out.
So this is gonna be our little mini episode.
For sure.
So I'm personally excited about this season of Drag Race, which I was not planning on being excited about. I talk about we weren't planning on talking about Drag Race at all anytime soon, but you know, we just decided to do a little mini episode about it. And I really was not excited for this season. I was just like, oh, here we go again, another Drag Race. This seems like such a slog. But after watching the Meet the Queens, I was actually really pumped. And I also know, of course, like a lot of the cast this season pre-Drag Race. So it'll be nice to see people I know like compete and like make it big as usual every year.
I am anti this season. Caitlin forced me to watch the Meet the Queens.
That's correct.
And we also watched their little runway.
Yeah. Which the runway
moment
that they did to promote the Meet the Queens, basically. I guess that's what it is.
It was kind of interesting.
It was not great, but that's okay.
Haven't been excited since I found out about the cast, and then when they actually did the reveal, everything was awful.
What do you
for
mean?
me personally. Okay, so like the styling of like the actual like reveal kind of thing.
The theme? You mean
The theme, like the America theme.
Yeah.
Oof, that not cute.
We can talk about that. For me, I don't have a problem with it because it's part of the RuPaul like legacy. RuPaul's always been obsessed with America. I just finished season 3. They do an entire like episode based on that. So I feel like it fits into RuPaul's like themes of drag.
Well, how weird RuPaul has gotten on the show or off the show. Just the politics of her seems really weird and out of left field for her to be like so pro-America. It was a weird decision.
Well,
I feel like, really weird decision.
I feel like with the America, it's like, this is our America. Like, everyone belongs here. And, like, you can't just decide who does and doesn't. I think that's the general theme they're trying to go for.
They should practice what they preach then.
I totally agree with that. I'm 100%. I don't agree with RuPaul's politics at all. But I think that's just the theme they're going for. That's what I'm assuming.
I'm just gonna be negging Caitlin this whole episode.
Yeah,
so
that's
get excited
okay.
for that.
We like differing opinions. That's why we're co-hosting the show. So we watched Meet the Queens. We're gonna go through the list of the queens. And just any opinions. I know a lot of these queens pre-show, so I'm definitely gonna spill any tea I have on them. And you ready?
I'm ready.
We're going in alphabetical order.
Okay, work.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. So the first queen is Aiden Zane.
Right.
They're from Georgia.
Okay.
They used to be dating someone from Dragula, someone from season 2, I believe. I'm not a big Dragula person, so I don't know who it was.
The only Atlanta girls I can think of are Bitch and
they said they weren't like right for Dragula, like they should have been on Drag Race.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know
season
who it
2?
was. Yeah, I don't know who it was.
Huh.
Anyway, so for me, well, they have like there's a lot of queens that are problematic this season. Mm-hmm. Apparently, this is one of them. You can get into that if you want to.
Shout out to friend of the pod and a personal friend of mine, Berlin Hell, released some basically just receipts of Aiden having very transphobic opinions about trans women and AFAB people being on Drag Race. And she's not the only queen this season that said something similar, but yeah,
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. I mean, it's not surprising that a queen says something like that because queens are petty and release drama every other day. But and it's just telling of the show that their hearts aren't set on doing that anytime soon because of like casting like people.
Yeah,
sort of like Aiden. Sorry about it.
For me, just based on like their Meet the Queens and their looks. I have like whenever someone's like, I'm a quiet queen, I actually don't know where Aiden places on the show, but it's usually a sign, oh, they're not gonna last very long.
Yeah.
But I do really love their makeup, and they do remind me very much of someone who would be on Dragula, which I'm happy Drag Race is expanding who they're letting on as far as looks.
Before I found out about this stuff about the comments, I was really a fan of their look because it was so out of left field for Drag Race, I thought.
Yeah, so out of left field. Absolutely.
And their makeup was surprisingly good.
I love the makeup.
And her look was one of my favorites from the Meet the Queens we saw. It's just a shame that her politics haven't changed. But
hopefully they'll change and come to the light.
You know.
We won't know. Next queen we have is Britta. So Britta used to be on, what is it, Shade, Queens of New York City.
Rip in peace.
Yeah, so that was like, no one outside of New York knows that it exists.
It really does.
And most people in New York also don't know it exists. But because of Shade, like there was always these rumors that no Shade queen was allowed to be on Drag Race. And Britta says in her Meet the Queens that this was the first season she auditioned, and I honestly agree just because Shade probably said no. But I have no idea about that tea. I'm just assuming.
That's not the first. You're not the first person I've heard that from.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. I used to go to a Shade viewing party because it was right.
I went one time to the first episode.
It was right before a weekly competition that I was doing. So
gotcha.
I just got there early. So.
For me, I've known Britta for a long time. She's a very, very seasoned Manhattan queen. She has very good mixes. She knows what she's doing. She's very self-assured on stage. I think she'll do well. I honestly don't know where she places either on the show. There's most of the queens I don't know where they place. I feel like she'll do very well. She has like the right personality for the show. I feel like she'll give them what they want. So we'll see how she does.
My only comment is I prefer tap water. Anyways, next person.
Oh, wait. Can we talk about so we'll start with Britta. So there was the copyright issue that her name is Britta Filter. And there's another queen, Jan Sport. And because of copyright issues, they were not allowed to use their full names. I understand why they did that, but I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird, but I do like Jan's rebranding for her name on Instagram, which is Jan.
No, me too. Well, the first time I saw that, because it was before they actually revealed that she's just Jan on the show, I was just like, why is this her handle? I was Jan. Confused.
Stupid.
Yeah, it is what it is. So the next one is Crystal Method. There's been a lot of talk about her name because apparently Crystal on UK Drag Race, his old name was Crystal Beth, and producers made her change it apparently, and she didn't want to keep it because she thought it was disrespectful for people who have crystal meth issues. Clearly that wasn't an issue for Drag Race US, but
that doesn't surprise me either.
I don't really have. I'm just used to Crystal Mesh from Brooklyn, so it's not really it doesn't really bother me. Drag subversive, whatever. I really like her look. I really love her Meet the Queens. I love Club Kids. She reminds me of Milk in personality. Not really. I mean, it looks obviously, but in personality a lot. I like that she says she's dollar store queen. I love creative queens. I like that her makeups are very different.
Yeah, her makeup was very interesting.
Yeah, I like when they allow queens to look different.
I kept going back and forth if I liked it, but it wasn't I think technically it was really good, but
she looks like
aesthetically,
a clown,
I wasn't
which
sure.
I like.
Yeah, true.
And she also says she doesn't always do feminine drag, which is refreshing. I'm glad that there's queens. I know they won't be allowed to do androgynous drag most likely, but
we'll see.
I like that they're at least saying that they do more than just female impersonation for drag. Next is Dahlia Sin. We both know Dahlia pretty well. Dahlia was actually part of my book when I wrote about Brooklyn. I know her twin brother who looks exactly like her very well. I've seen Dahlia perform when I first got into the drag scene in New York City. She always did very burlesque numbers. She was always very, very sexy, very controlling. For the Meet the Queens, they really are pushing that Aja's her drag mother narrative.
Oh, for sure.
She really sounds like Aja, which is weird because she doesn't sound like Aja in real life, and a lot of the looks are very Aja-esque, and Dahlia always had a very different drag style from Aja, even though they were house member family, but it is what it is. I know you have some interesting things
I have
Dahlia.
two pieces of information about Dahlia. I'll start with the funnier one.
Okay.
So back when I first moved to New York, I didn't look the best makeup wise. I still don't look the best makeup wise. But there was a picture floating around of me and a few other people or queens. We just did a show. And she was like shit talking us, like made a comment about like how ugly some of us were. And so since then, I've had a personal vendetta against Dahlia. But that's not the reason why I don't like her personally on the show either. It's because she is also a person that made very shitty transphobic comments about why trans performers shouldn't be on Drag Race. And clearly, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, we don't agree with that.
But her calling me ugly is also a good reason why I don't like her.
I mean, that's like an actual personal reason. Well,
Yeah.
I've never had any personal beef with her. I've only had good interactions with her, but it is unfortunate about those comments. It's 2020, Queens. Like, get your
It
shit
really is.
together. Like, I'm sorry. There's no excuses anymore. Like, especially when you're coming from New York, even though they're branding her as an LA queen because she moved to LA. Like, you're in New York City. Like, you know what's up.
Her drag mother is trans. Aja's non-binary.
Yeah, she's non-binary.
Yeah,
So
like-
they're non-binary, excuse me. So, yeah. Next up is Gigi Good. I'm very excited. Gigi's on. I've known her, like, she's been doing drag, I guess, for a hot minute, but I knew her way before she got cast on the show. I've seen her perform many, many times. She's from LA, but she's done New York gigs. When I first met her, I thought of her as like a mini Aquaria, and I'm pretty sure she's the one who's getting compared to Aquaria the most because she's kind of like the ingenue, like she's off to do great things. I know her mom is a costume designer. She makes all her looks. She always did. And like she is a very, very professional and very sweet queen. I am so excited she's on the season. She's gonna fucking slay it.
She was one of the ones from the Meet the Queens that I was really impressed with, especially we'll get into it a little later, but the little runway that they did for like the reveal. Just everything about her seemed like it was really polished. It was really sweet. I was feeling her. She seemed nice.
My fear for her is because she's so young and so talented. I don't want her to get a big head because she's not like that at all in real life. So I'm just hoping, like, because the show, they'll promote her to death. Like, I hope it doesn't ruin her because she's such a pure, sweet person as far as all the interactions I've had with her.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very excited for her to be on.
She seems really rad. I'm about her.
Okay. Our next queen is Heidi in Closet.
Stupid.
That name drives me crazy. I feel like she could have done it a little bit. She explains why she chose that name.
Which was a weird reason.
It was a weird reason. I just don't think it's a good name in general.
I agree. Maybe Heidi would be like a cute name, but like Heidi in Closet seems kind of weird. Like I think the N is throwing me off.
The N part. It's just the letter N.
Yeah.
It's just strange.
But how'd you feel about her?
I love her Meet the Queens. She has so much personality. I know she's gonna fucking kill it on the dance floor. I hate when queens get compared to other queens, but she does give me a lot of Kennedy Davenport vibes. Just like pageant queen from the South. She looks very similar to her, but I hope she does well. Like she's someone who I'd actually like consistently watch Drag Race for. If her Meet the Queens is as good as how she performs on the show, that's remains.
She didn't leave the biggest impression on me personally, but she was fun when we did watch her. So.
Yeah, I think she's funny. I think she's fun. I think she seems like one of the queens that is very well rounded on the show. So hopefully she goes well. Our next is my personal favorite, one of my two personal favorites, Miss Jackie Cox.
Jackie!
Oh my goodness. The trade of the season. Reddit finally figured out Jackie Cox. I remember when I saw a photo of Jackie out of drag, because I've only ever seen her in drag whenever I've met her. And like my jaw dropped. I could not believe it was the same person because she is so attractive out of drag. Sorry, Jackie. I'm letting the world know.
I think I might have seen her at A+ when she used to do A+. Now that she's big and famous, she doesn't no longer do that. But I don't know if I've actually seen her perform, but like just seeing that Meet the Queens, I was like so enthralled by her. She seems like a sweetheart. I really liked her. Really enjoyed her.
So in our missing Wigging Out episode that will never be released, unfortunately, I talked about, this was before the cast for the season, I talked about my favorite drag performance ever. And my favorite drag performance ever was seeing Jackie Cox in So You Think You Can Drag in the All-Stars, which is the final season of So You Think You Can Drag, which is a New York City competition hosted by Paige Turner. Jackie did a number based on Westworld. It was the most haunting thing I've ever seen. And every time I watch her, she is one of the best like acting queens as far as it goes, like as far as lip syncs go. Like she is a fully committed performer and she'll make you believe. My friend from LA was so impressed by her, but she is one of the best performers I've ever seen. So I am so excited she's on the show.
I agree. I'm more excited to see what she does after the show.
Me too. I agree. Well, like she's even like even before like they were casting, she was always splitting her time between New York and LA because she's very much of an actress / drag queen type of situation because she does a lot of like scripted shows. So she would split her time between there. I have a feeling she might not stay in New York longer. I have no idea. I have no inside tea about that. But like if anyone's going to go to LA to like pursue an acting career, I feel like Jackie's going to do it. Okay. Our next queen is Jada Essence Hall. She seems like she has a lot of personality. Again, I hate comparing queens to queens, but just look-wise, she reminds me of Trinity K. Bonet. She's very well-spoken. Her beat is incredible.
Her makeup was so good.
I think
she looked airbrushed. It was like really impressive.
I think her and Aiden are probably my two favorite makeup queens on this season.
I didn't like her Meet the Queens look as much, but her runway look was really impressive.
Yeah.
But again, we'll get into that.
Yeah, Jada's her runway is great. I think we'll see a lot more of her. I like that she's a pageant queen. She's unapologetic about it. I think we've reached the point where it's not pageant queens versus everyone else anymore. Like that's such a old.
That's me and Caitlin's vibe.
Yeah, it's just an old like stereotype that Drag Race made up. I don't know what's going on, but I really like happy she's embracing that. And
I think that came from like the whole Fifi versus.
Yeah, it came from Fifi. I know it came from Fifi. Like
Fifi versus Sharon.
Yeah, because there are pageant queens on season 3, and they don't say jack shit about that. Yeah, and then of course they're elevated.
I think the pageant queens are considered the boogers of this.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They are. And then Roxy Andrews, they make her out to be like the devil because she's a pageant. It's weird. I'm glad she owns it. I'm very excited. I have high hopes for her. Okay, the next one, it makes me laugh because
Jan.
Because they made her change her name
to Jan.
To Jan. It's
sure Jan.
Yeah, exactly. It's very Brady Bunch. So I've known Jan since she started drag, when she used to be Kris Jenner impersonator. And that's all she did. All she was a Kris Jenner impersonator. That was her only form of drag. She came to New York to be an actor. And she just loved doing Kris Jenner. Her mixes were always really, really funny. She's an amazing singer. She's really, really elevated herself. She's only been doing drag for like 2-3 years.
She as soon as the Meet the Queens dropped, she dropped a music video. Yeah. And she's gonna do favorite pop songs, I think, every week. She's
part of the drag duo Stephanie's Child, who was on America's America's Got Talent and The Voice. They're an amazing drag trio. They're very, very talented. Simon Cowell did not like her on America's Got Talent.
Who cares about him?
But I think she's great.
The other members of Stephanie's Child are Laguna Blue and Rose. I
am very, very excited for her. I'm so proud of her. With her, I always knew she had the X Factor as well. I swear to God, I should be a casting director for Drag Race. I just felt like she had the X Factor. I do interview her in my book. She does 2 of my chapters because she's always been so sweet and accommodating, and she's a fucking superstar.
Excited to see what she does.
Yeah. So if you want to know my teams, I'm mainly Team Jan and Team Jackie.
I'm Team Jackie for sure.
Yeah. So our next queen is Nikki Doll. She comes from Paris. I am so excited for her. I've known her again pre-Drag Race. She is our resident French queen. She's a very good performer. She always turns a look. She's very much an Instagram queen.
I thought on her Meet the Queens, the comment about she talked about being inspired by fashion and stuff, but then she said anime, and I was just like, I know. What? Where?
Nikki's also outside of Drag Race, all that. She's one of the chillest people I've ever hung out with. She's just a good time gal. She's a good queen. I mean, I hope she does well. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. She seemed interesting to say the least, but I'm not sure. Again, I'm very anti season 12, so it takes a lot to impress me this time around. Sorry, girls.
So our next queen is Rakam Sakura. She reminds me. So her drag sister, I believe, is Cash Monet, and she and Cash look very, very similar. I'm excited for them to be for her to be on the show. She's bringing a different drag aesthetic. I'm very shocked that Drag Race is opening like who they're letting on, like look wise.
I did love everyone comparing her to a Gundam. I thought that was funny. She looked
condom?
a Gundam.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Condom. Because she looked a little robotic and Japanese inspired.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like her makeup a lot.
Oh, that was cute. Yeah.
It's a very Erica Clash a little bit, but it also reminds me of Trixie Mattel. Everyone's always going to be compared to Trixie, no matter what.
If you just add that much white, yeah.
Yeah, if you're putting white on your eyes, you're Trixie Mattel.
T.
But I'm excited. She looks cute.
She looks okay.
Our next queen is Sherry Pie. Sherry is someone who won Look Queen, and every single queen who wins Look Queen ends up on Drag Race. She's a very exciting performer. Her looks are always on point. She usually works with Florence Lee, who makes incredible outfits for her. Her Meet the Queen, she's really, really funny on it. I know she's gonna bring a lot of personality to the show, so we'll see how that goes. And our last queen is
no comment.
Our last queen is Widow Von Du. So she's from Kansas City. She has a very extreme wig on in her Meet the Queens. I like that she's like proud of her tattoos. She's not afraid to be. There's always like the resident big girl. She's clearly claiming that title this season.
We just kept looking at her wig because it just felt off. I don't remember much about her.
Her thing was just, she definitely has like a lot of energy in her interview. We'll see how she does. And that's it.
Yeah. 13 girls.
Yeah.
We haven't had that little in a while.
Yeah, because this season, allegedly, they're not bringing anybody back. So
hopefully. Let's take a little break.
Okay.
And we can talk about some other stuff.
Yeah. Wig. Okay.
I know. Wig. I feel that already.
Wig. Okay.
Wig. Did you just say wig?
Wig. Okay.
And we're back.
Oh, we're back.
Oh my God.
Okay.
It was so much fun, Caitlin.
So, as every season goes, this season has its fill of controversy.
Especially in the beginning.
Our little podcast has reached the shores of Reddit with what we know about things. So,
we got featured on RuPaul's Drag Race Drama Reddit.
Oh, I didn't know which one. I can't find it. Every time I look it
I think
up,
it's RPR or RPDR Drama.
Oh, okay.
We were on the front page. That was fun.
Yeah.
And now some other stuff circulating on the front page that I'll just say is accurate. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, since we talked about sexual assault, unfortunately, there's been possibly another queen involved with some sort of situation.
Yep. That one is a little less well known.
It's less well known. We don't have all the details.
Yeah.
But it does seem like another unfortunate situation.
Yeah. And the one we talked about in the past December, with that one I felt more comfortable talking about because it came out, these allegations came out like 2 years ago. It was before these people got casted on the show. Mm-hmm. So like the person that came out forward and had a very detailed recount of what happened, they didn't have anything to gain, basically. Yeah. And I hate saying that too. It's just like we shouldn't have to be like, oh, what do they want? Yeah, what do they want? Yeah. They're just
what are they getting out of it?
And I want to believe victims, and that's what I'm doing. I'm believing a victim. Again, I don't like that term, but it sucks that these people are now getting attention in this platform. Yes. I hopefully it comes to light, and we, at the very least, get an apology or acknowledgement of it.
That's not happening.
I don't think it's going to happen either.
Not happening.
Or I hope the victim is okay.
That I do hope.
I hope they're handling this okay, and I hope whatever has happened isn't repeated, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, agreed. Also, with the other situation,
with the transphobic comments.
Oh, that as well.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, either one. Like all of it. Do better, everyone.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I gotta say. Do better. I know life isn't perfect, but come on.
Yeah.
It's 2020.
I feel like a lot of the stuff that these queens are getting accused of. It's very preventable and very easy not to do. But that's just me.
I agree.
So
we're all grown adults. Like, start acting like it. I don't know.
And like own up to it. It shouldn't be like in the shadows kind of thing.
Agreed.
Like I shouldn't be like having to hold back saying names.
I agree. Like, just don't do it.
Yeah, just don't do it.
We've also had the first judge, who is always a celebrity judge, has been released.
Yep.
It is Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj.
Okay, we both have different opinions about this.
Yes, we do.
Like, you can. I'll go first.
Minaj.
For me, Nicki, not as a person, but just as her persona, has always been a huge part of the drag I've seen. Queens have always done her songs, like deep Nicki cuts.
I do one of her songs.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It's always just been part of the drag culture I've been a part of. So, and she acts like a drag queen. Like, that's like her persona. She's very, very campy. I actually write about her in my drag book because she's in Wikipedia. They list her as like someone who is camp.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So,
early Nicki, maybe.
Huh?
Early Nicki.
Yeah,
for sure.
early Nicki for sure. So,
my opinion is similar to how I'm treating the girls on the season. She has very publicly came out for her brother, who is a convicted felon for sexual assault.
was it on a minor?
I think it was on a minor. Okay. I'm gonna put allegedly there because
allegedly. We just don't have Google.
And yeah, I feel weird about her. I have felt weird about her since I found out that information. And then she also has she said some homophobic stuff in the past, and she also has a gay persona. Do you remember Roman?
Yeah. Oh.
That's her gay persona.
Oh.
That's like her whole thing.
I knew that, but
she hasn't.
The background of
Granted, she hasn't used it in a while, but still, it's just like a thing that's
like
happened.
Roman's Revenge.
Same. I love that song. It's weird to be. I do enjoy her music from time to time, but I don't actively look at it.
Well, she also retired. That was the thing for me.
Yeah.
She retired. Why
she
is
did
she
retire.
on Drag Race?
It was kind of weird.
Well, she was always fighting with people online and Cardi B and all that. But I'm like, I thought you retired.
It's a weird choice, but it makes sense.
It makes sense though. It totally makes sense. For drag, it makes sense.
I thought we were gonna get like Britney before Nicki, but that's just me.
Who knows what's going on?
Who knows? Who knows what's going on over in that basement?
Not me.
Yeah, but that's the little tea we have about the people and the judging.
Yeah. So we're just going to cap off this mini episode with some of our favorite looks that they've done since all this news has been announced. So they did Vegas.
They did do Vegas.
Because Drag Race is now doing their Drag Race Live residency at Flamingos Club, I believe it's called. Mm-hmm. And they had a giant red carpet event. All I remember from that event is that Jan, it's so weird to say Jan Sport, who's now the artist formerly known as Jan Sport, fucking slayed it in her, I believe it's Jamil Moreno. I believe that's how you say their name. Ariana Grande dress.
From the Grammys.
Grammys 5 days ago. Yeah. Completely recreated it. Fucking slayed it. And that's all I remember.
I really like Gigi's outfit for the Vegas residency red carpet. She did like a.
Curious George.
Was it Curious George?
Yeah, I'm 99% sure.
It was really cute. It was just like really dapper and like sort of like Boy Scouty. I was kind of about it.
Yeah.
It was really good.
The guy from Curious George, not the monkey, the other one.
I was gonna call him George, but I was like, that's not his name.
No.
And then her outfit in the reveal runway they did, which apparently Caitlin has told me is the what did you call it?
So it's called the urban streetwear with a political / protest vibe.
I didn't see any of that.
I did not see any of that. But
Gigi's look for that was like super. I kind of remind me of Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas because it was like patchwork, and then it was also like held together with like safety pins and stuff.
It reminds me a little bit of Violet Chachki when she did her runway look, just because it's plaid.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah, in season premiere.
I just really, I don't know. The construction of it was really impeccable. I was really
her
impressed.
mom is a costume designer. All the stuff, like even before she got on Drag Race, even before she was cast, were always impeccable. Like incredible outfits.
And then her fucking Meet the Queens outfit was like Evil Knievel.
Oh yeah,
So.
super cute, super cute. I liked it. My favorite look from that was Jackie Cox's. She's half Persian, half Canadian, and her look was a tribute to like the Persian Arab Spring protest from 2009, 2010. I'm looking at her Instagram. She's telling me what it is. She's wearing a headscarf. It's really gorgeous, green headscarf. The translation on it is "We are countless." The rallying cry for the Persian Spring protest of 2009. I think she like nailed what the actual challenge was, but I don't know about anybody else doing that.
I saw the looks and it was a mishmash of nothing. So yeah, she was probably the best or one of the best.
Yeah, her and Gigi definitely killed it.
Gigi was really good. But yeah, I thought most of the looks were pretty sensational. I liked them, but not super hopeful about this season in general.
Actually am totally the opposite. Just because I think these queens have a lot of personality, it's really up to the producers to get good content out of them. It doesn't matter about the queens. It doesn't matter about the cast. It matters what the production does. Yeah. So if they show them in their best light, I really hope that happens. I'm very excited.
And I'm hoping for an apology. I'm Martyr.
I'm C. Tepper.
And this was Wigging Out. Bye.
I'm C. Tepper. You can follow me on Instagram at CTEPPER and read my book, The State of Drag, where I interviewed 175 drag queens from around the world. All proceeds go to charity on Amazon.com.
Ooh, I love that. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Drag the Martyr. And if you have any thoughts, comments, dick pics, send them to dragthemartyr@gmail.com.
Listen, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Pandora.
And catch up with past episodes on WERRRK.com. That's WERRRK.com. Artwork for Wigging Out was provided by Glitter Baby Online. That's Glitter Baby Online. Thank you.